If you've ever Googled, do I really have to quit drinking forever? I want you to know you are not alone. And this is so very common. This is by far, hands down, the most common question I get asked, whether it is via email, DM, when I start coaching one on one clients, right? And even myself, I was once there. I've been 13 years sober now. And in the beginning, it was very much like, is this going to be forever? And this is a question that honestly will keep you stuck the longest. So in this video, we're going to talk about it openly, honestly, and without any pressure or overwhelm, okay? I'm going to share 3 powerful mindset shifts that helped me finally stop obsessing over forever and start creating the life I didn't want to numb anymore. As always, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney Anderson, and I am a sober coach and the podcast host of the Sober Vibes podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments, as I love getting to know listeners, either of the show or people in the Sober Vibes community. Okay, let's get into it today. So tip number 1. You have to stop focusing on forever. And I know that kind of sounds bananas in this process, but you really do. The word forever is heavy and it's overwhelming, right? And it could even be overstimulating for some when you think about it because of the overwhelm in it. But you have to keep in mind that when you first start quitting drinking, it is a really hard thing to grasp forever. It is, especially when you're just trying to make it through one day without alcohol, right? This truly makes your brain start to panic and you want to drink more. Also, too, it's very common in that beginning to start future tripping and thinking about things that are 3 years out. 4 years out, 5 years out, even thinking about stuff that hasn't happened. I mentioned this in my book. So if you haven't grabbed my book yet, Sober Vibes, A Guide to Thriving Your First 3 Months Without Alcohol, it is very, very helpful. So once you quit drinking in that process, you do think of these future events. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is why you can't think about that and you cannot think about forever, because the person you are starting out is not going to be that person 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Trust me. So it is honestly like a waste. It is a waste of time and mental energy. So you don't wait. Stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But what if you didn't have to figure out forever, right? What if you only had to figure out today? When I finally let go of forever and focus just on one day and my one choice of that day, that's when everything started to shift for me, right? You don't climb a mountain by starting at the peak. You just kind of take one step, and really the one day at a time is the most amazing phrase really in being to live by for anybody, not just people who are quitting drinking alcohol, right? But it really does set that tone and that intention for the day, and it is a good affirmation to keep you in the present. So this is how sobriety works too. You just take that one step, you take it one day at a time and go from there. Tip number 2, look at what you actually want. Okay, here's the harder question underneath. Do I have to quit forever? Is alcohol giving me what I think it is, or is it quietly stealing what I care about most? How do I want to show up in this life? Most women I work with aren't asking, do I have to quit? They're really asking, can I trust myself to live without it? Especially too in this journey, there's a lot of doubt in your self-confidence, your self-esteem, self-trust goes out the window because there's been so many times you broke this promise to yourself, right? So it really does comes with building self-trust, and you do that by taking it one day at a time. Okay. So and I know it sounds ridiculous, but you don't have to commit to never drinking again. But you do get to commit to wanting something better than the rinse and repeat cycle that you are currently in the life that you are currently living. Okay. So tip number 3, build a life that makes alcohol irrelevant. This is the truth. I didn't just quit drinking because I finally had enough willpower. I quit because I created a life that was so grounded, so intentional, and so aligned that alcohol didn't need to come and factor with. All right. And that's really what I started from day one. It was me grounding myself in gratitude. So I didn't just quit because I had all of this willpower. I honestly was good and tired. I was good and tired of living that life that I would live for a decade in my active relationship with alcohol. I was over it. I had seen that nothing was changing. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, yeah, some nights I could go out and just have a couple. Majority of the time, this is why I never regret my drinking days, because there was like 10% good, but 90% bad, right? And I was over that. That wasn't the life I wanted to live anymore. And I knew that the one thing that kept holding me back was alcohol. So alcohol didn't fit into the life I wanted anymore. And when you were good and tired, you were ready to make that change, right? And this is really what I teach inside my programs. And it starts with simple routines that center you in calm instead of chaos. And if you want a simple way to start doing this, grab my morning and nighttime routine guide. It's totally free. And this is the exact rhythm that helped me stay clear and connected to the early days of sobriety. It really is like, getting in the morning and the nighttime and committing to a calm routine for yourself and setting yourself up for the day and the evening following the next day. It really, really is helpful because you are coming out of a chaotic situation. And I don't care if you had a morning and nighttime routine when you in your drinking days, but when you quit drinking, it hits different. Okay. It completely hits different. So again, you don't need to decide about forever today. I want you to keep that in mind, especially in the beginning, in those first couple months. Just focus on today. It might even take you a year to just focus on today. And then eventually it comes to a point where you're like, this is forever for me, right? Like, I know if I go back to drinking, X, Y, and Z will happen. And I don't want to go there. I don't even want to risk it because what is the reward of drinking? 2 hours of drinking is going to bring me 3 hours, if not more, of pain and regret and shame. Like I'm not about that anymore. A lot of people have asked me through the years, they're like, Courtney, would you ever go back to drinking? I'm like, no way, man. I do not have it in me to start at day one because those days are not easy. And I don't want this video to discourage you, but I just tell it like it is. I'm not going to tell you that those first couple months are all rainbows and butterflies because they're not, because it's a lot, but you can do it. I believe in anybody, if they want to do that, they can change their life. So again, you don't need to decide currently if you are in early sobriety, if this is forever. You just need to decide what kind of life that you want to have and stay in the now and how you want to show up. Okay. So if alcohol is in the way between that version of you and how you feel today, then it's time to let it go. Just let it go for now. You've had a really good run with alcohol up until it became problematic for you, right? So now it is time to start living life a new way. I can tell you too, in the last 13 years, I have lived more than I have lived 13 years without alcohol than I lived in my 10 years of my active addiction to alcohol. All right. So make sure to download my free morning and nighttime routine guide. It is in the link in the description below. And if this video spoke to you, please let me know in the comments what's your biggest fear about quitting drinking, right? Let's talk about it.